Oh, for launch.
We are
Liftoff of New
live.
Year. Yes. Meow, y'all. Oh, we
Friday.
appreciate it. Yeah. Friday. Happy Friday.
Last
Oh,
day of the
gosh.
week for stocks, but
Yes.
crypto is 24/7.
Oh, God, it is.
Yes.
The markets are almost going to do that too.
Well, I just noticed on my Schwab app or whatever that Tesla is now 24 hours.
What?
Interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
They have like a little 24-hour icon above Tesla now. So I'm like, so they want to compete with Robinhood, I guess. So
Yeah.
people on Schwab can DJ on Tesla 24 hours a day.
Well, did you see that announcement? NASDAQ is going to extend the after hours and pre-market so that trading goes on until 11 p.m. at night and then reopens at 1 a.m. Oh, say goodbye to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, crypto already did that for me, so yeah.
I know.
Especially when you see XRP do things like this, like that is pretty nice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I am simulcasting this. Well, not really simulcasting. I've got my phone on and I'm doing a live spaces. And so I don't know. You guys in the live space, you'll just have to let me know if you can hear Matt okay, because basically you're getting his audio from my TV, and that's it. That's my monitor. I listen to it from a TV,
Oh, that's
and it's
cute.
about 6 feet away.
That's cute.
No.
But yeah, I guess I'll just start with XRP though, since it's on my
Anything you
screen.
want. Yes.
And I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Because just this chart alone has predicted when the breakout should happen, and that was only when the arc was broken. And guess what? It was broken. You can see right there, it broke out above the 50% level, above the arc, everything at the same time. And even the weekly cloud is basically a little bit above it too. Let me just take off these labels here. Yeah.
His chart has an arc that it's been following under for a while, and the breakout point was about 0.614. Is that right? 61 cents.
No, well, I was watching it here. This red candle right here was when the SEC decided to appeal the case, and it happened right at resistance, right there. And I kind of had a feeling it was just going to go back to test support, and that's exactly what it did. And then finally it broke. So the level was kind of around 60. This week was around like 62. Yeah, around the 50% level. Yeah, actually, it lined up almost perfectly with the 50% fib. Maybe that's not a coincidence.
Maybe not. And it seems to be heading for the year 618 at is that 80? I can't read that.
Yeah, 91,531. That is the next
91
resistance level. And then we go to the monthly chart here. Just gonna put up the monthly Ichimoku, and this is probably the most bullish thing ever, right? I mentioned this on a post in X, how the monthly chart since the all-time high back in 2017, way back here, it's never really been on top of both the conversion line and the baseline ever. Like maybe for 1 month here it was. That's it, just for 1 month. But this is the first time that the Bollinger Band, or not the Bollinger, that the conversion line baseline are this close together, and price is just rocketing above everything. So this is even added confidence of just breaking that level. And it's getting into the monthly cloud now, first time in over a year and a half, right? Back in March of 2023. And the next step is just get above the cloud, 104. That's really it. Once it's above 104, I think this is a time to shine, right? Could then go to 160 and then boom, go to the $8, right? I think that's at least a minimum target because that matches an arc up there perfectly. And that could be right where that vertical line is too. And that's July of 2025, maybe $8 XRP. So that is looking like momentum is in its favor. Not only that, with the Bollinger Bands, they are expanding. You can see right there, they're expanding down. The crocodile mouth is opening. This is very bullish. Haven't seen that happen in a long time. So all the signs point to this is the real deal. It's not a fake out. So this is not a test. This is not an alarm. You have been warned. You've been warned by me like for years, maybe. I don't know, or months.
You wrote an article about how it had the most squeezy Bollinger Band of anything ever in the history of all charting. And it got picked up. Like somebody, some Somebody,
Yeah, I got published on
Yeah,
some
get
of these
published.
crypto sites. Yeah, it's just an exciting time for XRP, and I think it's going to put a lot of people in disbelief, especially if it gets to $8 or even higher. It's going to put a lot of people in disbelief and be like, "Wow, I wish I would not have faded that one," because it's been suppressed for years, right? Since the all-time high, it's been suppressed for years. But the same thing happened to Tesla for like 2013 to 2019, right? It was suppressed for that long.
Yeah.
And look what happened to Tesla. It just shot up a lot. So I
And
think
Tesla, yep.
I
It's
think
going to
it's
keep shooting up.
it's mirroring what Tesla is doing, right? And now we can see Bitcoin right here. It's still getting blocked by resistance. The 1.414, the 91,158. That's still the target to break above. But in the meantime, it looks like closing above this 45-degree angle, and the 83.5 is going to be in the cards. So that's just going to mean it's going to build a base on a higher level and eventually go higher. So I'm not worried about it at all. It just takes time.
It's so cool how I've been literally showing Tesla on the left side of my screen and Bitcoin on the right side of the screen, and they've been mirroring each other a lot in these smaller degree moves lately.
Tesla and Bitcoin.
Yeah, Tesla and Bitcoin.
Do you have a Bitcoin chart you want to show?
Sure. Oh, I haven't even hit my share button yet here.
No, you haven't.
I'm behind on the 8-ball. And share.
Reading some of the comments here. I've had a coiled boner for years on XRP.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, and also I've seen XRP valued from $3 to 300,000. How do the charts value utility value? And it's about levels. It's about math. It's about just combining GAN with fibs, and I don't really care about anything else for XRP. And if it matches my charts, and if a lot of confluences in that zone, then I think it's possible. But yeah, I think $8 is probably a minimum for me for XRP. Maybe even by next year too, because it's been suppressed for too long, so it could just explode.
So not financial advice, but I bought like a ton of XRP, like I don't know, $6,000 worth, a few weeks ago, and I'm so happy right now. When it goes to $8, then like maybe that could be my Cybertruck.
Heck yeah, I could.
Yeah. All right. So here's my Bitcoin chart. Just on the 15-minute chart, I've got Matt's support test that he indicated yesterday up right up here at 91,100. I see that Bitcoin built a base across this 88,000 level. We sort of had a test here, dip below. Since it dipped below and couldn't get higher, it went all the way down to 86,660 for a little bit. But now we're coming back up to retest that test. And I noticed I didn't see this yesterday when I did it, but Matt's support test happens to coincide with the weekly R2 pivot right here at $90,919. So that's nice confluence there. Exactly. Now let's pull way back. Really, you should follow Matt's Gantt charts for I don't even need this anymore. For Matt's Bitcoin charts for Bitcoin long-term predictions. But if it follows my Elliott wave theory, I'm currently predicting this wave 3 could top out about $100,913. So yeah, 100.9K. Then it might test back. I'm going to move this up to the 100%. Maybe back to a wick down to 84,630. And then the wave 5 of the cycle tops out about, oh wait, I'm so sorry. These are subwaves. My wave 3 doesn't top out until 127,000 with a dip back to just under 100,000 and then runs up to 196,000, the 2618. So Bitcoin to challenge 200,000 maybe this cycle if it follows my Fibonacci levels. Now, again, I defer to Matt's Gann charts for Bitcoin because they are superior. Is that, do you want to use that to tee off your longer term Bitcoin chart again?
No.
No, that's fine. Okay. Should we go right into? You want to do this indices?
No, I mean, I think everything is just kind of flat today. Actually, no, it's down a little bit. Yeah, I'll go over the indices. I thought it was flat, but I was flat because only like Tesla's flat and everything else is flat. Yeah,
You do the indices, and we can see what the market says, and then we'll come back. I'll show off my Tesla chart.
Yeah. So going to start off here with SPY, and I don't need this Bollinger Band on the SPY right here. Go to the weekly. So here we go. I've been talking about 585. It could be going down there, right? Pre-market is 590. So a back test of 585.38 would be healthy. So usually when things don't go higher and higher, it's because they just want to go back to test support. So 585 still the target for SPY. QQQ 497 still could be the target. It's at 504 pre-market. So almost there, right? Getting that little back test going on, but this is a healthy development for the future. IWM, also it's going through the let's see here, the 886. Does it need to come back and back test the 22674? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, we'll find out, but essentially, no matter what, when things are on top of the linear scale 786 from the all-time high, that is usually an indication things want to blast off into space. We saw it with Palantir. We saw it with a lot of others. So this is no concern at all as long as price stays above 226. And with that being said, let's go into Tesla. Hey,
wait. Actually, I'm sorry. Go back. Could you put your Bollinger Bands on the IWM for a second? I just want to do a cat thing.
The weekly or the monthly?
That one right there. See, maybe it's just going sideways because it got over the Bollinger Band too much.
Yeah.
So now it's just getting punished, and it's kind of going sideways for a little bit. Maybe it's simply oscillating around your 886 at 235 for the IWM, and it'll build a base just like it did over your 702 and then keep going higher.
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible. Let's see if the monthly, are they expanding? Yeah. The monthly, the bottom's not even really expanding, so it still has room to push up against the monthly.
Oh yeah.
So it's it's just taking a little breather on the weekly chart, but the monthly chart still has room to go because the crocodile mouth has not even started to open on the bottom. So this is a good sign for IWM for more explosions in the future.
Yeah, I think the market is going to just get explosive into the Christmas rally is going to be insane.
It could be,
which means we'll have like these winter blahs in January, February, March. But then it could really get going again, and like July might be the high point again, just like it was last year.
Yep. All right. Now, Tesla, yes.
Show us your Tesla chart.
Okay, so it lost the 321 that I talked about yesterday. So in that case, we go to the next support zone, which we go on log scale now, and that is 306.93. So that is the next target, which I think Tracker basically nailed that perfectly with TSLL, saying that zone would be the same price for like what, 1675 for TSLL.
Oh God, you were watching that the whole time. That's so cool. I figured you were so busy, you probably didn't even get to see all that.
No, I pay attention to you, Tracker. Don't worry.
I know, that's so cool. I totally did. My TSL totally nailed that bottom.
Yeah. So that could, since it didn't hit during market hours, we could still see that today. We could still see price come down there, maybe go to 305, maybe wick through down to the low 300s, just scare people, and then maybe close back above. But 306.93 is a good zone, and guess what? That's the 786. It's on log scale, a very important zone, and it just broke above last week with continuation to the 886, got rejected at that 353. So coming back down is perfectly healthy, and maybe this can just build a base on top of this 306 zone and then go higher. So that's the level I'm watching for today. So if people are interested in opportunities with TSLL or Tesla or whatever, I think the low 300s, it could be ideal since that 320 level broke. But no matter what, this chart is super bullish. So it can be 320 is bullish. It can be 300 is bullish. It can even go to 290 and it's still bullish, right?
Oh yeah,
guys, you don't need to worry about Tesla. I got some DMs yesterday, people freaking out. I mean, it had a 30% increase last week, and now it's down 3% for the week. I mean, I think that's okay, guys. I'm pretty sure that's fine from week over week. That is nothing to be afraid of, unless you bought 360 or 350, right? If you bought 350.
Remember, if you're looking at this chart, if you're looking at it right now, it's a log scale chart that he's got up right now.
Yes. And it's a weekly candles too, but you guys have to put things into perspective sometimes. Up 30%, down 3%. Is that really something to be afraid of? Not at all. It's not at all. It's basically week over week. This is how you got to look at things in the grand scheme of things. super healthy. Up 30, down 3. I will take that every single day. So, with that being said, Tracker.
All right, let me take over with my Tesla chart. Here I'll show you how I nailed the bottom yesterday. I basically had this chart for a long time, well, basically all week long. I was tracking this triangle. I was just descending, 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 descending. And yesterday, the way it worked out is it did kind of, it went right to my 618 first. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe the 618. And then it's like, no, we lost the 618. All right, maybe it's going to go to the 76.4. And then right here, it did. It like went exactly to my 310.37 to the penny. Then went back up and couldn't get a higher high. And then we had it come back down again. And so the close was like right here. There's 4 p.m. So it closed just above this 308.25. And then it just kind of kept going down after hours. And my TSLL chart, which is right here, was predicting 1675 for the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, 1675 equated to, I just pulled an information line from where price was to 1675, and then I divided that by 2 and moved to the same number of percent on here and predicted 302.28. And at 4 a.m. this morning, we got 302.68, just 40 cents higher than the TSL chart predicted. And the TSL chart actually wicked just a few cents below 1675 to, looks like it was 1663. So there, I'm just gonna pull this down and call that, I call that complete. It could still, like Matt says, because it did it in pre-market hours, the market often likes to retest the pre-market decision to get a final ruling with the weight of the entire market participating behind it. So the question I'm getting all a lot is, where are we going next? I just want to point out here on this 15-minute chart, which is very, very small compared to Matt's charts, but you can see the moving average 30 is curling up. It should intersect the 50 and keep going up. And then if that stays up here long enough, the 50 goes up to the 75 and the 100, and you get the picture. I'm looking right now. I'm projecting a weekly close of Tesla. If it could hold up this rate of recovery, maybe we'll get to 330, the 330s before the end of the day. But it's probably going to hit resistance. It's probably going to hit resistance every single one of these moving averages. So maybe we only get as far as moving average 200, which has confluence with the daily R1. I can't read it. It looks like it's like, yeah, 325.55. Let's see if we don't get a candle close for the week of the, well, 325.25. And that is my Tesla.
Very good.
And then let me just say, longer degree, now that we've basically gone all the way up and over, this is going to be kind to me. This mine's a linear chart. So basically, now that we've broken out, oops, get rid of that, broken out of the 3-year triangle, got over it, tested back to it, shot up 30%, down 3%. It's just going to keep going. Like it's going to be retesting the all-time high of 414.50 in no time. And we'll have to see. I don't know if it'll get there before December 30th. I drew this green line just to show what it would look like if we got there before December 30th. It's got some catching up to do if we're going to get there. But if my Tesla chart starts to show this green line on it, then I'll know that we are getting indeed close to testing the all-time high before the end of the year. But right now, I'm not calling for it.
All right. I see a request for hymns. I'm just going to go over that because it really had a bad day yesterday because of the, what was it, Bank of America downgrade or something. Who knows?
Downgrade, and then everyone said that, oh, it's because Amazon, blah, 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 is doing the same thing. And you can do it cheaper on Amazon.
Yeah. But anyways, the chart just made an all-time high, guys. Usually when things make an all-time high, yeah, sometimes they come back down and retest support. And I want to point out here, this is the daily chart. On the weekly chart, there's the previous all-time high. There's the low. There's the 786 on linear scale too, mind you. So it just went down to back test that. And usually when things stay in the 786 zone, they do want to pursue all-time highs and beyond, and not just turn into a wick. But this stock trades like a 3x leveraged ETF, so you guys need to understand that it's very, very volatile. So yes, it was at $30 yesterday, and yeah, I went down to $20 today. That's a huge range, but it's done it before, right? It was at 25 and went down to 14, right? It was here and went all the way down to $3. So I mean, this is a very, very volatile stock. So if you can't stomach it, it might not be for you. But basically, 2055 is what I'm really watching for support. Just keep closing weekly candles above that, then it's fine. Build a base; it'll go higher eventually.
I love hymns. If you'll show my chart here, all it did was do exactly what I predicted it was going to do. Maybe just a slightly a bit more down, but after a nice 1, 2, and then now these numbers on the right are my Elliott wave, my Fibonacci extension ratios. It got to the 764, which I love. Then usually the 382 holds up. So far, it's just wicked below the 382 and might be coming back to it. It could go down to the 236 at 1890 and still be very bullish. If it holds the 382 at 2226, like if we just kind of get back and hover around 22, 26 for a little bit, my next target above will be the 1382 at $45.28. If it does go down to the 238, I'm sorry, the 236 at 1890, then my target will just be one fib lower, 41.92. And then this whole thing tops out. If it falls the 138 to the 238, then this cycle tops out at $73.74 for HIMS. So don't let the storybook narratives fool you out there in the media. The charts tell the story and technicals. The fundamentals just follow the technicals. That's our mantra, isn't it, Matt?
That's correct.
That is correct.
Yeah, no matter the volatility, it's just probably market makers trying to steal your shares. That's what it's trying to do. So
yeah, HIMS. It does. I'm sorry. Just one last thing. It does have a monthly pivot right here at 1959, which is sort of confluent with the 1890 236. So you can buy a little if you like it, like I do. Buy a little hymns now, and then buy a little bit more if it drops to 20. Like just load the boat if it gets anywhere under 20. And the only thing that makes this chart not bullish is if it gets a new lower low under 1335. It has to go below 1335 before it becomes bearish. And there you go. Or at least just it extends, it kind of makes the whole thing take longer.
Yeah. And I see a question in there. So HIMS, the Amazon thing doesn't matter. I mean, there's going to be news narratives about everything. Just like with XRP, it was like, oh, it's a dinosaur coin. It's never going to do anything because there's better tech out there. But HIMS is not just one product. It's not just one telehealth. It has a bunch of stuff, right? Big portfolio of different things. And it'll be fine. And the chart's bullish. Like all I pay attention to is the charts. Just like with XRP, I always paid attention to the charts. I ignored the news. And I positioned myself well before this blast off. And now people are scrambling to try to buy it, right? So the same thing will probably happen with HIMS. Like, oh, they probably sold yesterday because they saw the news and they saw the analysts. But analysts, they don't know anything. In fact, they might even be paid to like say that stuff just so like institutions can buy more cheaper. So I don't know. I just don't believe anybody out there, but I do believe the charts.
And here you go. If you guys want, I'm just giving this away. Take a screenshot if you want my entire HIMS chart from beginning to end here. Or, the end is just the fifth wave is the top of the cycle. Then there's an ABC retrace. Then this whole thing becomes the wave 1, and the retrace becomes the wave 2, and it just keeps growing. And that's how it works.
Yeah. So I always listen to I look at the charts. I ignore the narratives. I never pay attention to earnings reports anymore. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm just charts. And mainly because look at crypto. Crypto doesn't have earnings reports, and the charts are very, very, very accurate all the time, and so is stocks. So therefore, nothing matters except for the TA, in my opinion. And I think Tracker is kind of the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, I've seen it so many times. People just they love stories. When they don't understand something, then they come up with a story like, oh, well, thunder is like this god in the sky like throws bolts down at us and stuff. They're these. Our brain craves a solution to an equation. And
Yeah.
so we'll come up with all sorts of stuff, and whatever sounds good sticks usually for a while until the story doesn't work anymore.
Yep.
But the charts tell a story all their own that does tend to stick.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I
so
see. I see a question with would you pay attention to news on the SMCI? I mean, that is something about has to do with fraud. So fraud can make things go to zero, right? We've seen that with like Enron and whatever. So yeah, you got to consider like fraud as an investment. Like, do I really want to risk that? Because the risk becomes higher, right? And ultimately, if it's not fraud, the charts are just still going to do the story that it's telling. But if it is fraud, then yeah, then it's something you got to go be concerned about. So it's just a higher risk. That's all. Just a higher risk.
is that SMCI story that it smacks of fraud, or they're being like blatantly accused of it by like some
I don't know. Like
body?
it's a potential it could be because they're not filing anything yet, right? So we just got to wait till they file something to have the proof that everything is okay.
Did they fire Ernst and Young as their auditors?
I think it was the other way around.
Yeah. Ernst and Young.
Ernst and Young
We're
fired.
not gonna work for you guys anymore. That's hilarious. Okay, I have my DXYZ chart up here. Oh, guys, this stock has a huge exposure to SpaceX, and so that's why it's just been like going bananas ever since they got the super heavy booster catch. And we have another. In fact, we have like 5 rocket launches in a row, 3 in one day on Monday, including a Starship and a super heavy booster catch, like at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think, or Central Time. Anyway, I think that Monday is going to push the stock back up again. I can see it's building a base around 2760 here. So I made like a wave one. See, it was 5 waves up and then ABC retrace, and it retraced to the 764, and that seems to be holding as a base right now. So I'm ready to see it go back up again. And so all this is wave one. Down here is wave two at 2760, or I'm sorry, 2660. And then so the 764 is up here 5665. The 382 is 4162. And then the 1382 goes to 8095, and so on and so on. Skip to the end. If it fills out 5 waves to the top, the 238 is $120 a share for DXYZ, which is currently trading for 2756. So a great opportunity for, what is that, a 6x gain? Almost 6x, at least 5. So, and it could even push up to the 2618 to 130 almost. Anyway, this is if you're my subscriber, then I've got this spreadsheet, and I figured out a ranking system that objectively ranks all the stocks that I've got in my portfolio, like all the ones in my spreadsheet database against each other. DXYZ is the number 1 on my list right now. Is the top of my top 20 is number 1. So taking a big play on it. This plus the other thing we're racing MSTX and ConL and TSLL, and then I've got the DXYZ as well.
Okay.
It's almost time for you to. I guess is it too early to do a DXYZ Gann chart? Not enough history.
Yeah, it's not really.
Okay.
It won't be that. I could probably do a 4-hour one later, but not one right now.
Do a 4-hour one. I think it'd be so beautiful.
Yeah, I'll do that one later in the Telegram. I will do that. And I see Novavax. People are worried about Novavax, but again, that's another volatile name. So it lost that 45-degree angle as support. So I did mention if it did lose that, it's probably going to go down to the blue angle. I mentioned that, I think, last week. And that blue angle coincides with this previous low where I drew a black line. So this could be the target, like under $6, right? And I'm still holding it. I think I'm going to add more down there because it's just a volatile name, and it still would be a higher low, and also it still would be a giant breakout and a back test, right? We just don't know sometimes how deep these back tests are going to go. But yeah, maybe below $6, I'll just load up even more for a potential to go back higher. So this is still fine, and even kind of like a deformed head and shoulders too, right?
Yeah, and like back in when I used to trade in 2018, 2019, when things were going really great, I would see these N shapes all the time, like where it goes up really hard,
yeah,
down to the right, and then up really hard again. The N move.
Yeah, so It's not concerning at all. It just wasn't ready to hold the 236. It was too explosive, I guess. There was like a 80% candle, then it had a 46% candle, then a 19. Like it just shot up a lot. So it's still, when you look at the monthly chart here, it's still basically a bunch of inside candles here, and it's just basically looking for a new higher low on the monthly chart, which I think could be that blue angle again, which also means a great opportunity to do like a V bottom and get out of there. So short term bearish, longer term I still think it's okay.
I got an index chart real quick. I just want to show that it's holding up by the monthly S1 pivot at 708. But if it loses that, since it's already lost the 764 by quite a good margin, it's more than halfway to the 882. I think it could be heading for $5.93 for the 882. That would be the final support. If it drops below that, then I might just put this one to bed for a while. But I think it could hold up 88.2, and yeah, I'd buy a bunch more down there.
Yeah, I think.
Wait, I'm sorry, I forgot to show my huge chart. So if it does, let's see, if 833, no, I guess we're not going to get that. I'll have to redo the chart, but basically, when 833 was the low, it was going to go to 206, just as a cyclical recovery here. Maybe we just drop a little bit lower, and if it does recover from that 882 fib, it's still going to end up coming up just around $200. It's not won't even be that different from what I've got projected here at 206.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, Matt.
All right, I see a request for ASPN, and not to be confused with ESPN, but I've been bearish on this one for a while, and even on the show we talked about it. How once it broke through everything, I said it's probably going to go back down to the 382 or even the 100-week moving average, and that is the trajectory it's been taking. So. Yeah, it just broke through too much support, and once it did that, I was like, nope, no for me. And once it even made a lower low from this low here, I'm like, no, this is going lower. And sure enough, if you want to take a stab at it, maybe 1447, maybe 1393. But when I look at the Ichimoku, when I look at everything here, flipping the cloud to resistance is not a bullish thing for me. So does it have an opportunity to come back up to 18? Yes, but that is going to be resistance, and it could just roll over and continue lower. So this is a no-go for me. No longer. The opportunity to remain bullish was holding this 1875. It did not do that. So this is just a stock that is going to get trapped for a while. And I think it's going to get trapped under this 1875 all the way up to the 200-week moving average, maybe 2060. So even if like things do recover to the $20, don't get too excited yet. That's just recovering right back to resistance.
And you don't have to show my ASPN chart, but basically I kind of agree with you. The monthly S1 pivot is $13.82. It could try to hold that. There's a big buy order block right under there. So I think that might be the support for it. But yeah, I sold out ASPN a while ago when Matt said he didn't like it anymore. I'm like, okay, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, it's just those are the charts. When they break support, you don't like them, especially when they break weekly support. You want to run away.
Yeah.
You want to run. And Palantir, I see somebody talking about that. Yeah, they had some news about, what was the news exactly? I don't even know.
I don't know either. I've been watching Tesla too much.
Oh, they'll list its Class A stock on the NASDAQ.
I did see that.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Look at the chart. See, this is why I'm saying news doesn't matter. It's still resistance, guys, and price pre-market is still under there, and it's still just a wick above for this week. So this is exactly why I mean the news doesn't matter, because the technicals were already saying the whole time that this is resistance, and it's 61.18. So people get all caught up like, oh, this is exciting, but is it though? It's just in a range still. It's just between 55.63 and 61.18. So
did it also look like 30% and like down 3%?
Yeah, well, it's still up for the week over week, right? This is up 39% and up 1.35%. So
nice.
It's still up, right? Even though it's a red candle, it's still week over week, it's higher, right?
And I will just skip to the end and say Matt is projecting $100 in 2025, maybe as soon as September.
Well, I think it's probably going to be sooner than that, but I think at least September, maybe October. But yeah, Palantir looks fabulous, right? Super
so
good.
Not financial advice, but gentlemen, start your your calls.
Well, I think, yeah, if it does go back to 55, 63, that's when people are going to be like, oh, it's going to collapse from there. But I think that's going to hold. I think $55 will hold if it gets down there. So that could be the new opportunity for people that missed all of this before, right? All of this. And also another example of the news, like, oh, this was the price to earnings ratio is way too high. It's way overvalued. But no, the chart's saying that everything is going to catch up to it. So charts first, everything else second, in my opinion.
I think I just want to say that if it moves fast enough, the monthly pivot. No, I'm sorry. This is the. Oh, that's too late. That's the weekly pivot. I kind of like 54.27 for a test back. Maybe 50.78, but probably 50. Well, actually 50.78 makes a nice psychological barrier, right? Like, oh, is it worth $50 or not? So.
Well, I'll let you choose the last one before I got to go. So go ahead, Tracker.
Okay. So gosh, let's see. I just want to be fair to the people who came in early. I don't do ADA and I don't have INDV. Shucks. I wasn't ready for you to put me. Let's do NU.
NU,
Yeah. All right. So NU New Holdings Limited. It is. I have it in its fifth wave, so it's in its final legs. The fifth wave usually it can get a nice melt up here. I've got it. My sell zone is somewhere between the 200% and the 2618. So ideally, after hitting a 1382, it just kind of went back a little. No, actually, that was really good. The 2382. So that's why I've got this 5 right here. Ideally, it would hit 1859 is where it would top out, but it could melt up just that one more fib, the 2618. So, I would say start taking your profits into the 18s, and then hold a little bit back. And if it gets to the 19s, definitely get out because you're not going to get 1978. Like less than 1/10 of 1% of all market participants will get that perfect price before it then drops into the ABC retracement. Let me just do a quick retracement for those. I can't believe I haven't done this already. Hide and back to the wave 2 bottom. When it's upside down. Gosh darn you. So did it backwards. Oh no, I just had this back up. Okay. Skip to the end, 1191. So maybe it has an ABC, a deep ABC all the way to 1191. If it wants to stay like a little bit more bullish, 1318 for the 50% retrace. So we'll kind of know better if we get a high B or not. If it gets a high B, it'll go to 50%. If it can't get above 23.6, then it'll go to the 618. And everyone will say, "Oh no, it's all over for new and it's terrible and it's not a real company or whatever." And then it'll catch itself and then it'll recover and make a brand new cycle higher and higher. So there you go. Maybe rebuy it around, start rebuying around the mid 13s and then into the low 12s after you've sold out in your I've hidden it for myself. 1859. And there you go. Gosh, Matt, the morning went by so fast.
Yeah, super fast, but that was a good show.
It was great. Thank you so much.
We'll do it again on Monday. See you guys next week, and you can see us on X as well. The links on YouTube is our X profiles. If you don't know, they're on the description.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks so much, Matt, and have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you soon.
All right. See you soon. Bye-bye.